name is Walter. I'm 15 years old and I live in Deer Lake First Nation Reserve in Ontario, Canada. I think one of the overwhelming parts of living here is the sheer hopelessness of it all. No one really feels any hope for the future. I think a lot of that stems from poverty. And our poverty comes from a number of things. And it's not like we have a hope of changing that. I mean, it's not like my mother and father were born into wealth. My parents came from poor people who came from poor people who came from poor people, all the way back to the very first poor people. It's just a continuous cycle, and that has led to many horrible things. No one I know is in good mental state. We all have been and are affected by mental illness. I think our poverty causes that in part too. But it has to do with the bad conditions of the res, the overcrowding, the alcohol, the abusive parts. Almost everyone I know was abused at least once, including myself. Both my parents are alcoholics. Abuse was a part of our childhoods. It affects us every day. It has given us, some of us, anger, but all of us feel deterred by it. Our past and our hopeless situation have caused depression in a lot of us. Suicide is another huge aspect of life on the res. I can think of so many people that have attempted it. I've had immediate family members or close friends and even people that I just know of that already had suicide attempts, and that's scary. It's very scary. So it's fear. It's fear that their next attempt is going to be successful. And I am positive half of us had suicidal thoughts at least once in our lives, especially in my friends group. And it's not like we can even seek help. Healthcare is almost non-existent here, and there is no such thing as counselors. So you either have to deal with it all, the abuse, the alcohol, the hopelessness, the depression, or go to the other route. And even though you know it has to do with all the problems, it still feels like you are to blame when you lose someone you know to suicide. You can't talk to anyone about it, and it all comes back to the pointlessness of it all. We reservation Indians don't get to realize our dreams. We don't get those chances or choices. We're just poor. That's all we are. We have no chance to get help for anything, and since we can't get help for what we suffer from, we can't move forward. It limits hope for our future even further, and just builds and adds to the endless cycle of despair. But I think if we begin to face these issues and get more permanent help and solutions, we can begin our way out of the cycle and avoid falling back in. And that's what we have to strive for.